Hey guys, welcome to some exciting Ashes cricket news. I guess we actually get our first major bit of gameplay from Twisty 3. Obviously, I'm gonna be using a little bit of his footage in this video just to talk about a couple of things. Like he's got a 15-minute raw gameplay. He talks over it as well because he played the game at I think it was PAX Australia. Which is cool, and he recorded a 15-minute batting and bowling ODI Australia England, and yeah, I thought I would just talk a bit about some of the big things to come out of it, and that's the new control and the new more arcadey style of game it is, which I don't think is a bad thing, because the cool thing about it is that they're just giving people more options, because the batting is a lot different in terms of you use the left analog stick to control the area you hit the ball, like older cricket games, right? And you use the face buttons on the controller to determine the shot, if it's an aggressive shot, a defensive shot, and that sort of thing, which simplifies it a lot, because in Don Bradman cricket games, they brought out this dual analog stick. Left analog stick was your foot, or your footwork, and then your right analog stick was the direction of the shot. Now, I personally really like that control scheme, and when I heard about this, I was a bit I don't know how to feel about it. But for people that have played it, they really enjoy it. People seem to think that it gives you more control. Then the analog stick always feels a bit like you can only hit at certain spots. So, and the thing, like I mentioned at the start, is that you can choose. You can actually go to the default sort of Don Bradman dual analog stick setup, or you can go with the new one, or the one in Ashes cricket, the default, which is the previous arcadey type cricket games, which is cool. I mean, I think options and stuff like that is always a good thing, and just getting, for more beginner players and more casual fans, it's going to be a lot easier. I would imagine playing on the new control scheme is a lot easier than Don Bradman crickets, although I didn't think it was that difficult. I think a lot of casual players or a lot of beginners probably found it a little tricky, because you had to do front foot, back foot, and pick the line of the ball. You also, another thing they brought in, which is funny because I always thought they were really dead against it, but they brought the mini map back, which I think is a good thing. Now again, I'm assuming you can probably turn this off or on depending on what you like, which again is a good thing. If you have that option, then it's always a good thing. But I sort of feel have the minimap there for people, because it's always something that people are annoyed about. They're always well, not everyone, but there's always a certain amount of people that are bring the minimap back, and it's just yeah, just bring the minimap back if it's an option. If it's not, then that's just a good thing, because it can stop that complaint from people that want the minimap there. And personally, I think it's probably a good thing, because yeah, the sort of the little game itself, where you had to look through the helmet and sort of look around the field to the fielders, it was a good little gimmick, and it does make it a little bit more realistic, but it does get a little tedious at times. So I think having the minimap there is a good thing overall. It'll speed up the game a lot, which is good. Other things to mention just quickly from the video we've seen, just the animations look so much smoother, so much better. The bowling animations that I saw, they look different. Every bowler looked somewhat different. It looked a hell of a lot smoother. The batting looked smoother. Just everything looked way better, honestly. And when Twisty, obviously he couldn't record direct capture, so it's a camera, so it's not the best quality to grasp the details and stuff, but just the overall animations and stuff were pretty darn smooth and pretty good. So yeah, that's the batting. a lot of changes, and I guess also the pitch marker. The pitch marker is back. It's not quite like old cricket games. It's sort of just another little thing where, because there still is like when you're batting, you see the green or the red or the yellow length marker around the ball, but it also a little bit, I think it was like a little bit before you see the actual pitch marker. So for people that maybe, you know, have a bit of trouble seeing the color of the ball, it's a good thing as well. I think, you know, again, it's going to help those more casual players get into the game. It's not going to be as difficult, I guess. And then the bowling is very interesting to me because, again, you can resort back to the original bowling scheme, which I like the bowling as well in Don Bradman, but in this one, similar to the batting, you just press the button for the timing. It's sort of, you still have to time the, but you don't, you know, press back on the right analog stick and then press up for, like, you know, start your stride and then finish, you know, just the ideal timing. You just press the button and it gives you like a very clear indication of the ideal timing. So it's still timing, but it just looks a bit different. And again, it's just a little simpler for people. Again, like I said, you can go back to the old way of doing it, which, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I do like the sort of just using the analog stick. I feel like just pressing a button is a little bit too, like, it's not like you're doing anything. But yeah, that's the bowling. You know, it's still pretty much the same. Like, you also have to, you know, pick the line of the ball, and, you know, it's sort of the same at the start. Like, you pick what type of delivery you bowl. So yeah, pretty similar, just a little bit different in terms of how you actually time the bowling action. And the only other thing I'll mention is the fact that, or just sort of the UI and the overlay, because the game is like licensed now for Cricket Australia and like England for the Ashes, obviously, it just looks a lot better. Like it just looks a lot cleaner. You've got like the timing and stuff looking nicer. Just like the players and their run scoring, it's all set out like a TV type coverage, which makes sense because obviously in the Don Bradman games there was no licensing, so they just sort of had to come up with something that looked good. It did the job, but it wasn't anything too flashy. This one looks a lot nicer, a lot more professional. Well, not professional, but it looks a lot more like a typical cricket TV broadcast type thing. And that's the other thing I picked up. So yeah, there's just a little bit of a discussion there. I will link the original Twisty video, which is like 15 minutes long, even though this video is like around 10 minutes now. But yeah, you can check out the full video and have a look at that. But yeah, I'm excited. This game is going to be excellent. Yeah, hopefully you guys are excited as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one.